Hi there, my YouTube friends. This is Afro Perspectives. In this edition of Afro Perspectives, I would like to share with you the impact of the collapse of the ZiG on ordinary Zimbabweans. However, my analytics say that 98% of our viewers who watch our content are not subscribed. Is there anything we are missing out? Drop your thoughts in the comments box below. And before we get into the meat and bones of today's discussion, please show your appreciation by hitting the like and subscribe button. And don't forget to smash that bell so you'll be notified when we bring out new content. John Mushayavanhu, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe governor, after insisting for months that there was enough gold at the Reserve Bank to back the value of the ZiG, finally gave in last Friday, and he let the ZiG drop in value. And now it takes 24 ZiGs to buy just $1. At its introduction in April, it took 14 ZiGs to buy $1. Now the ZiG is in a free fall, and money changers are asking for close to 30 ZiGs for just $1. In less than 6 months, the ZiG has lost a whopping 44% of its value. So why the dip in value when all along Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime has been telling the whole world that it had enough gold to back up the value of the ZiG? Like everything else to do with the Zanu PF regime, it was a lie that there was enough gold to back the value of the ZiG. Even if that was true, the price of gold is actually rising. So one would not expect the value of the ZiG to fall in the face of higher prices for gold on the world market. The point with backing one's currency with gold is that if the currency is under threat of losing its value, the government sells its gold and then uses the proceeds to back up the currency. In fact, the gold that is supposed to be in the RBZ vaults, most of it has been lost. It has been smuggled out of the country. So it turns out that the gold at the RBZ was non-existent. Even if it was there, John Mushayavanhu would have done something to fix the ZiG. Commentators on social media have been poking fun at Mushayavanhu by pointing out that there is less than 40 bars of gold at the RBZ. Ordinary Zimbabweans are justified in their mistrust of Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime. This is a regime that says one thing and then it goes to do exactly the opposite. They set up a budget and then they promised everyone that they will stick to it. But when it comes to buying off those who ensure Zanu PF's long-term survival, Zanu PF will do anything, including spending money it does not have. Just this past week, Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime bribed chiefs with 273 Isuzu twin cabs. It was all unbudgeted. And listen to this. This is Mutuli explaining why chiefs need cars.
Chiefs incurred excess expenditures on their vote due in part to the unbudgeted procurement of 237 vehicles for chiefs.
So there you have it. The ZiG has just lost 44% of its value because Emmerson Mnangagwa decided to reward his allies in vote buying and the rigging of elections, the chiefs. John Mushayavanhu, since the ZiG's introduction in April, has been talking of the gold in the RBZ vaults. Then Mutuli comes along and says, no, it's actually a $365 million facility that is backing up the ZiG. So is this in addition to the gold, or is it just the $365 million facility that is backing up the ZiG? Well, the explanation lies with the government. Probably they will tell us at some point. But then the ZiG is falling in value, and at this rate, there is no way to stop the drop in value. The Zanu PF regime in power is determined to make life as harsh as possible for ordinary Zimbabweans. Take, for instance, teachers and other civil servants. A teacher earns $200 equivalent in ZiG. That is for a period of a month, and that was before Friday's devaluation of the ZiG. With the 44% drop in value of the ZiG against the dollar, the take-home pay for teachers and civil servants is now much less. Teachers and other civil servants were paid within a space of 1 week. Then, right after all of them had been paid, John Mushayavanhu announces the devaluation. That was just a cruel move. That was just designed to empty the pockets of all the civil servants of what they had worked for within a month. Then I will go on to explain how teachers have been fleeced. I will use the teacher's wage as an example. Teachers earned, like I've said before, $200 a month in ZiG equivalent. That is before Friday's devaluation of the ZiG. After Friday, having been paid a ZiG equivalent of $200, teachers ended up with just $122 worth in ZiG currency. What happened to the $88 drop in value? That is not a coincidence. That $88 is what every teacher contributed to the chiefs getting their fancy toys from Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime. Remember, for each unbudgeted expense the government embarks on, someone has to pay for it. Civil servants have to take a pay cut in order for Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime to bribe the chiefs with the expensive all-terrain vehicles from Japan. Zanu PF is more worried about its long-term survival than the welfare of ordinary Zimbabweans and the overall health of the Zimbabwean economy. In April, John Mushayavanhu introduced the ZiG with fanfare. What was striking was the choice of the number 13.57 to $1 as the official exchange rate. Why not 10 ZiGs to the US dollar or even 5 ZiGs to the US dollar? The explanation lies elsewhere. The Botswana puller trades at 13 puller to the US dollar. The ZiG was deliberately pegged in value equivalent to the puller. Botswana, it has to be remembered, is a much stronger economy and it is managed in a much more disciplined manner. Where John Mushayavanhu speaks of non-existent gold at the Reserve Bank, the Bank of Botswana had the world's largest reserves of diamonds to back up its currency, the puller. Even then, Botswana backs up its currency with another $5 billion worth of reserves in addition to the diamonds. So you get the idea. And then we have got Mutuli Ngube, and this is Mutuli in speaking in the National Assembly about the $365 million facility.
What I can say as of now is that the reserves backing the currency amount to about $365 million.
So you have heard it for yourselves. Mutuli Ngube bragging about $365 million. Is that enough to keep the economy afloat? Is that enough to save the ZiG? The point is that it is just a drop in the ocean. If you take Botswana as your benchmark, then you need at least 10 times that amount of money to back up the ZiG. It's not surprising then that Zimbabwe is only one of 3 countries in Africa who uses the US dollar. The other 2 countries are Somalia and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The one common denominator amongst these 3 countries is that they have all at one point collapsed into a state of failure. Somalia collapsed into a state of chaos in the early 1990s, and then the DRC in 1997. Zimbabwe imploded in 2008. Since 2008, officials in Zanu PF have tried to come up with a local version of our currency 6 times, and on each occasion they have failed. What you are witnessing is nothing new. It's a rerun of what they have attempted in the past. It's an irony that politicians in Zanu PF would want to remind us that Zimbabwe is no longer a colony of Western powers, yet they are comfortable with using the US dollar as currency. If at all Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime is serious about restoring Zimbabwe to the status of an independent African country, the first thing they have to do is to make the ZiG the sole currency for all transactions in Zimbabwe and outside of its borders. The reason why the Zanu PF regime is not going to do that is simple. No one has any faith in a currency printed by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Even the design itself is strange for a banknote, resembling monopoly money rather than a banknote. They have deliberately made all the notes the same size. That is just a strategy to make the currency as cheap as possible to print out. This is a currency that is designed to be mass-produced. Friday's devaluation is not going to be the last one. It's a sign of worse things to come. I have not come across a politician who is honest enough to tell ordinary people the real situation on the ground. However, I came across this clip of Mnangagwa speaking about the introduction of the bond note. What she said back then was prophetic. I think she was honest enough. Here she is.
200 million yekuAmerica anditi zvamazoprinda America yakubvumirai here kuti prindai mabond notes zviri illegal zvinizvi batai mazwi mukati hanzi takuzowana yedu mari muchinyeperwa batai mazwi muchasara makabata zvimapepa izvozvo mombe dzaenda nokuti ndisu tinovingwa ikoko konzi ndakuvinga ine mabhondi notsi tauya kuzotora mombe mbudzi everything munosara makabata manyuzupepa ekutoilet.
Well, that's Mnangagwa there. She spoke of the bond notes as worthless pieces of toilet paper. Having listened to Mnangagwa's warning, what do you think is the future of the ZiG? Please drop your thoughts in the comments box below. Thank you. Tatenda. Siyabonga. Bye.